my God, bro. Stevens is so bad. The only solution is to shit your pants on stage in hopes that it makes no one remember what you said. Yeah, Haley Stevens is incredible. I mean, this race would be over if it was Haley Stevens versus Abdul Al-Sayed. It seems to me like Abdul Al-Sayed cooked. Abdul said we have to fight for a revolution on the debate stage.
It is.
People can't afford to wait for a revolution that may never come.
Well, I'll tell you this. Revolution's definitely not coming if we're not fighting for it. So let's play a game. If you're on the stage and you have never taken a corporate PAC check from Blue Cross Blue Shield, raise your hand. Anyway, all of that is to say, I think we really can fight for a world where everybody can be guaranteed health care. I think we really should fight for that world because too many people in this country are going without the health care that they need and deserve. $225 billion in medical debt. 225, that's bigger than the GDP of half the states in this country.
Thank you, sir. We've got
no, I'm not done yet.
Now, I just want to say,
let me just finish. I just want to say one more thing. It is important for us to recognize that all of these issues go back to how we finance campaigns, and it just keeps coming back and coming back. Thank you.
We've heard, thank you.
People can't afford to wait for a revolution that may...
Damn. Banger. What the Michael Fusco art. Jesus Christ. 400 bones? I've never seen anything like it, bro. Look at this. Oh my God. All right. Make it rain if you want. If you like the soundboard, make it rain. Okay? If you like the soundboard, you know what you need to do. Okay? We are at level 11 completed, level 12. Hype Train. 35% off, 5+ gifted subs. God damn. Yeah, if you still haven't gotten anything, you got to use your Twitch Primes, dude. That's crazy. There's 1 million gifted subs in the chat. If you still haven't received a gifted sub, then you're out of luck. You got to use your own. You got to make your own luck. If we get the Hype Train level 14, I'll play it. Holy. I haven't seen this big of a gifted sub train since I had like election night coverage and I would run ads at the top of the hour. God damn. I need to farm subscriptions more, honestly. Oh shit, we're at level 14. Did I say level 14? I'm at level 15. Did I say level 15? I'm at level 16. Oh, kidding. Uh-oh. Almost there at level 14 at the end. Send a sub my way, please. Up, level 15. You already know what it is. How is Fox News feeling watching this, you think? And then he did a hype train where legions of adoring fans gifted him hundreds of gifted subs. And then he played We Are Charlie Kirk. This is the highest. We've set a new record. Keep going until the clock runs out. This is the newest record I've received in terms of a hype train. God damn. I mean, I'll do this one more time. Actually.
I'm gay.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Lebanese.
People want more. People want to get more Kirky with it. Okay. What about
Blammo.
What about
Blammo. I hate white people. I hate white people.
Whoa, Austin, chill. Austin, why are you saying stuff like that, bro? That's crazy. Calm down, Austin.
I'm gay and Lebanese.
All right, if we hit level, we're at level 16 on the hype train. If we hit level 20, I'll hit the Charlie Kirk again.
I hate white people. I hate white people.
All right, let's continue with the news. This is crazy. What is this? No, not yet. Not yet. 20 brothers milking it? Yeah, I'm milking it. I haven't had a good run with subs in a minute. I haven't farmed subs in a long ass time, dude. Close presents. What the? I don't even know how many that is. What is happening? It didn't even show up on the leaderboard because it's so busted. 1,000? What the? 1,000? God damn. Level 18 hype train.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
This has got to be so hard to comprehend if you're a Fox News journalist that's tasked to watch my stream. You're like, what the is this guy doing? Was it you or Vinny that would rip shirts for subs? It was definitely not me. That sounds like some goated shit that my goat Vinny would do. Level 18 hype train almost over. 3 minutes and 28 seconds left. Oh, you mean Will? Yeah, Will does that. Have you ever done a subathon? No. Would you? No. Brother, my life is a subathon, if you haven't noticed. I stream every single day. The only thing I don't do on camera is fall asleep on camera. So why would I do a subathon where I just basically also fall asleep on camera too and then work out on camera as well? We're about to be level 19. Kanye is in Turkey? What the? No offense, but why all these gifties now is a random ass Thursday mid-news coverage? I don't know. Oh shit, about to be level 19. Anyway, let's listen to what AIPAC, Michigan Democratic Senate candidates talk about AIPAC on stage. You know this is going to be a banger for our boy Abdul El Sayed.
Haley Stevens.
Fuck a subathon, bro. Where's MGS3 sleepover stream with Will? We're going to do a fuckathon. We're not going to do a subathon. We're going to do a fuckathon. And a Toyota-thon. Level 19! One more level remaining until level 20.
Take money from AIPAC. Walk us through what that money means and what it buys and maybe what it doesn't.
Well, look, my campaign for U.S. Senate for Michigan is a love letter to our state, and I am deeply proud to have grassroots support coming from grocery clerk workers to retired teachers to factory workers and the like. I'm also deeply
and the Israel lobby.
Honored to have the support of former Governor Jennifer Granholm, Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence, and Debbie Stabenow standing alongside me, individuals who fight for Michigan and win for Michigan, which is absolutely what I want to do as Michigan's next U.S. Senator. Look, Michiganders are frustrated because we have not done comprehensive campaign finance reform. Mike Rogers will not vote for comprehensive campaign finance reform like I have in the House of Representatives. We squarely need to put people at the front of our agenda.
Thanks.
And
So,
look,
but
campaigns
again,
are about movements
how
of
do you-
ideas, Stephen. Campaigns are about movements of ideas. And I articulate positions of freedom and democracy and what Michigan needs to succeed at the global stage and nationally.
And you're also just not answering the question.
Go ahead.
Look, at the end of the day, it also buys $3.5 billion sent to a foreign military that could be used here to give glasses here, to provide healthcare here, to build schools here. That's where our money should be used. And look, people know me. I say the same thing everywhere. I come to Mackinac, tell you all I want to tax billionaires. I go down south, tell people I want to tax billionaires. I say the same thing to everybody. If you want to support my campaign, fantastic. If you don't, if it comes down to having more money from a donor or having a message, I'm going to choose a message every time. And I think that's the difference. That's what we need in our politics.
We're going to go to Mallory Tomorrow next.
I appreciate that. And messages are great, and you actually.
Oh my God, bro. Stevens is so bad. The only solution is to shit your pants on stage in hopes that it makes no one remember what you said. Yeah, Haley Stevens is incredible. I mean, this race would be over if it was Haley Stevens versus Abdul Sayed. Okay? This is not real, chatters. People are getting duped by this. I hate that it's not real. And by people, I mean me. I got duped by it for a second. I was dancing my pants off. Stevens giving the weakest what Michigan means to me answer was a surprise. Thought she nailed in that closing statement. Yeah, this, dude, this debate is here. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was going to be. Okay. Haley Stevens comes up and says, my campaign is a love letter to Michigan. I love Michiganders. Michiganders want me to take want me to take tens of millions of dollars from Israel. I love Israel. I close my eyes. I think about Israel all the time, which is what Michiganders care about. And then Mallory McMorrow comes up and says, oh, well, you have great ideas, but the reality is I'm actually pragmatic, and I don't think better things are possible. I think modestly, marginally, incrementally better things are possible. Okay? And that's what Mallory McMorrow is going to say. And then Abdul's like, I will literally physically engage fascists if necessary. I put up 3 plates. I've never taken a single dime from a corporate PAC. And we have to start punishing ICE agents, and also billionaires are the enemy. And then everyone else there looks silly in comparison. Everyone else looks silly in comparison on that stage, because he's just like, this is it. Level 19 at 10. Oh, no, we're not going to make it to 20. It's 9 seconds remaining. We are not going to make it to 20. Michael Fusco Art. Oh, my God. He put it at 100. Oh, my God. Okay, this is a special. Level 20 hype train. Level 19 complete. We're at level 20 hype train, so of course we have to do this.
We are Charlie Kirk.
Be undeniable to fight for the gospel and to carry his flame. All right, let's continue. Getting back to the AIPAC conversation at the Michigan policy, the Mackinac Policy Conference, a quest for common ground. I thought 9/11 was the first thing you think of in the morning. No, that's what my haters think. McMorrow equals Starmer. I know.
We need to know how to deliver them. On this campaign, I have not taken a dime of corporate PAC donations. I have not taken a dime of AIPAC donations. This campaign is entirely funded by 120,000 individual donors, more grassroots support than my opponents combined, the most amount of money from Michigan, and we are building up a campaign that shows that we can run very differently, that we can win very differently.
Thank you,
that
but we want to
reject
focus.
the
I
Democrats.
just want to ask about the
the
last
issue.
2 campaigns, though.
Mr. El-Sayed, we want to focus on the issue and get some more specific.
And we were talking about foreign policy, but yet we're talking about campaign finance
Excuse
reform.
me, Ms. Stevens. We want to focus on this question. This is a divisive issue. This issue of the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians.
Bro, never in my life would I have thought there would be a centrism conference in some random part of Michigan where the debate moderators were holding to account Democratic Senate hopefuls in the primaries for taking AIPAC money, and it's like any kind of association with AIPAC would be perceived as the negative one. I think you guys need to understand something. Random, it's Mackinac Island. Okay, man, it's random to me, okay? I love you, Michigan. I love the Michiganders, but like I've never heard of Mackinac Island. I'm a goddamn bicoastal elite, okay? Calm down. Also, that's not the main point. The main point is not Mackinac Island's like his historic importance, okay? The main point I'm making is that this is a let's establish common ground conference debate. And the moderators are literally asking, like, well, can you address the fact that you got AIPAC money? Like AIPAC is a funding vehicle for your campaign. And what do you get out of that? And what does AIPAC get out of that? Like that is like AIPAC associations being considered a significant negative. Do you not understand how insane that is? For those of us who've been here already for years, and this is what I was talking about with Dara Lisa as well. Like if you've been an anti-Zionist for like the last decade plus, okay, or even longer than that, this is not a moment that you thought you would ever see in your lifetime. I promise you, a lot of you learned about Israel after October 7. Maybe you knew a little bit about it, but you weren't as vocal, or maybe you never had the positions that you have now, right? But for people that have had these positions for a decade plus, this point that we have arrived at is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, there's still so much more room to grow, okay? As I always say, sometimes jokingly and sometimes not jokingly, there's still a lot more people out there who don't hate Israel sufficiently, who don't hate Zionism enough. Okay. So the idea that the idea that like, oh, we're done, we're good is wrong. Okay. We're not done. We're not good. There's a lot more room to grow. I need you to understand that. Having said that, however, given what this conversation used to look like, given what the overarching attitudes used to be, it is unbelievable that we're here.
It has divided obviously the three of you, but also your party. And you have many Democrats, Jewish Democrats, raising concerns about anti-Semitism. Is there an anti-Semitism problem in the Democratic Party? Ms. McMorrow.
There is. At the Democratic Convention, an attendee yelled an anti-Semitic slur at my husband, who is Jewish, who was walking with my 5-year-old daughter. That is terrifying. We need to be able to state very clearly that what the Netanyahu government is doing is wrong, that the violence needs to end, that we need to bring about long-term peace and...
Okay, don't say cap, chatters. Like, that probably did happen. Okay? Don't be ridiculous. The point, however, is, like, the correct way to approach this is like, dude, anti-Semitism exists in the United States of America. And yes, there are going to be Democrats who are anti-Semitic as well. But if you think that, like, there's a significant amount of anti-Semitism on the Democratic Party side, as opposed to the Republicans, you're a delusional person. Okay? Like, anti-Semitism is morally repugnant. It's completely unacceptable. And unfortunately, it happens. So we have to analyze why anti-Semitism grows in this country. But the unfortunate reality is many people don't want to ask that question. Anti-Semitism grows in this country historically during unprecedented levels of violence that Israel commits against the Palestinians, against the Lebanese population, against Arabs as a whole. Because Israel does this unlimited violence with unlimited tax dollars from the United States of America, and it also claims that it is doing this kind of violence for Judaism. This false conflation is a very dangerous one, and it is one that teaches Americans that Israel is an institution, a country that is for the Jews, by the Jews, and is incredibly important for Judaism. It's not true, but that's what we're teaching people anyway. Of course, this generates anti-Semitism. Your appearance on Trevor Noah's show and your take on Joe Rogan is making people like you.
The Joe Rogan of the left. How do you feel about that? I mean, I have my opinions, but I want to know, because you're the person they're speaking about.
Yeah.
You know, what you think about it.
I mean, I think Joe Rogan is a goon, but...
A goon?
Yeah. He's
what a funny word.
He's just kind of a dumbass, but...
Not a word my friend would use.
Goon. That's not me. I'm not a goon.
Yeah.
Dude, I got messages about where I bought this suit. I love it. This is my favorite suit now. I love this suit. This is a Giorgio Armani vintage suit from the 80s. And I love it. I bought it off the stylist for the photo shoot that I did for the cover. You look like Mersheimer. Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. It's not real, but yeah, it's a 80s suit. Hired the stylist to buy you nice clothes. Yes, I already did. I was like, if you pull anything that's my size, that's vintage suiting, similar to the Giorgio Armani one that I got off you, I would be eternally grateful. No suit today. We're going cash. We're going cash today. Sometimes you got to go cash. Read the comments on the video. What, this? Hasan, who's his own main witness due to the recording, everything is being federally investigated, thinks Joe Rogan is stupid. What caused the suit movement? Leaning into the middle-age vibes? I mean, I am getting older, but I think one of the major reasons is because I was getting a lot of Fox News clippage, and I wanted to look more appealing. One step closer to meeting Dua Lipa. Trevor Noah has interviewed all the Hassans. There might be a couple left. Commenting from Iran, after 3 months of internet blackout, this was a gift I didn't know I needed until I saw the top of my recommendations. Thank you, y'all. Damn. That's sick. Finally, apolitical legend Hank Piker on the Noah Show. Suits and leisure wear and natural fibers are also in right now, so vintage suits are very stylish at the moment. Yeah. Your Wikipedia page has more views than Joe Rogan right now. Hassan the Hun's Wikipedia page has now garnered more traffic than Joe Rogan across all of 2026 and has broken over 1 million plus page views. Hasan Piker 2026 page views 1 million. Joe Rogan 2026 page views 819,000. Nice. That's because no one needs to read Joe Rogan's wiki page. They already know who he is. True, but why you got to make me feel bad? Why do you got to throw that in my face, dude? Hasan Piker responds to viewers how many subs it would take for him to wear a jean thong. Bro, there's no shot. I got too much heat for that. I got too much meat for that. What are we doing? 1,000 subs. Oh my God. This one had me dying.
What brings you to this point? Like, we meet you at this moment in your life, but like, how does Hasan Piker come to be? Like, where were you born? How were you raised?
I was born in America.
No, I'm not saying it like a border agent. I'm saying like, to me, I'm saying like a life story. You're so defensive about it.
I got scared.
This man is like, I'm like, where were you born? I was born here. I'm born in America.
Still lingers. I don't know if you heard, but the federal government's coming after me currently.
We actually need to talk about that. Yeah, but no.
So I need to say it. I was born here. I'm an American citizen. I could run for president. I would never do that though. So don't get scared.
Oh man. You know what's funny about this is I do find it hilarious that over the years, in a good way, I'm not saying this in a bad way at all, but over the years, the border agents at American airports and ports have become increasingly immigrants.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So it's interesting to be at the border, interviewed by an immigrant who's now, I'm assuming, an American citizen.
It's an amazing experience for an immigrant.
Yeah, but it's also interesting.
They get it.
Yeah, but it's also interesting when it feels like they're more likely to kick you out.
Yeah. No.
Never had that feeling.
You've never had that feeling.
Never.
That's crazy.
No.
In fact, I feel like it's give him hell. I have a 9-hour shift, but you, on the other hand, 30
that's beautiful.
days.
No, I like
good
that.
Time.
I like that.
I've never felt that way.
You have an unbelievably positive outlook.
Yeah, but he's a positive guy.
That I think is borderline naivete and maybe even dangerous.
You know how many times I've gotten through with that attitude?
That's crazy.
My Spanish is great at the border. What are you talking about? I have the control.
What brings?
Yeah, when I heard him say that, I was like, what the is this man talking about? That was one of the first things he told me too. What's with the Vosh beef? I thought he was chill, genuinely asking. I don't know. Where is the Vosh beef? What do you mean? What Vosh beef? What is happening in this chat, dude? Is there a Discord that was lit up or something? There's like a couple people that were like, yo, why do you have beef with Vosh? What? In the year of our Lord 2026? Yeah, exactly. Nuke Hoscord V2? No, there's no... Yeah, Tacoma Wept is the last and greatest contribution that we got from Vosh. Anyway, let's continue.
Security for Palestinians and for Israelis, and that turning that into not an anti-Netanyahu but an anti-American Jewish message is dangerous.
But at that convention, you said, you did not support U.S. aid to Israel. Is that your position?
I would have voted in support of 40 of the 47 Democratic senators who would have supported the Sanders resolution blocking arms sales to Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
Michiganders are scared, all right? We have rising...
Yeah, Michiganders are scared. They're scared about what might happen to Israel. Michiganders want to give unlimited arms to Israel. Michiganders like myself go to sleep and think about Israel and wake up also thinking about Israel. Michiganders know am Israel high. Michiganders love Israel. It's the greatest country. It's much smaller than Michigan. I'm scared. You put me next to a brown Muslim man. Michiganders know brown Muslim men are scary.
Political violence and extremism. A temple in my congressional district was blown up by a homegrown terrorist. I serve in the Congress on behalf of an incredibly diverse district, and I am also, leading on combating anti-Semitism in a partisan way. That does not have to be a partisan thing. I am, a proud Democrat who has been clear and consistent in a tough time about a horrible, brutal war.
Yeah, Jay Mershon, that's what you get for peddling misinformation. Take a day off.
We need to move along. Mr. El Sayed, can you answer?
So, look, I know what it's like to be discriminated against because of how I pray. And I know that anti-Semitism and Islamophobia tend to go hand in hand. And the real issue when it comes to either of them is the scourge of white supremacy. And I think it's absolutely critical for us to differentiate between love, respect, and admiration for Judaism and the Jewish people, and a continued policy that has us sending our money to a foreign government. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So for me, when it comes to fighting anti-Semitism, you are not going to find anybody who is not Jewish who has the same focus on taking that on as somebody who understands that these two things go hand in hand together. And so we can do that because we love all people. But it should not mean that we allow our money to subsidize apartheid and genocide against other people because people tell you that that's a...
No, let him cook, by the way. I'm noticing that every time he starts cooking, they're like, all right, stop. All right, shut the fuck up. Enough. You're doing too well.
About hatred for anybody. That's about love for everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, Abdul is so good, bro. Bizarre moment at the Michigan Senate debate after Haley Stevens says the filibuster must go. She asked the Democrats should use the filibuster to not allow the big ugly bill to pass this increase their debt. Pressed on whether she opposed or supposed to filibuster, Stevens says we should remove the filibuster so Democrats could have voted down the legislation, the tax bill. That's not how the filibuster works. Removing it allows all Senate bills to pass at 51 votes. It would not have allowed Democrats to stop Trump's tax bill, which was already exempt from the filibuster.
The filibuster.
Yeah, the other side of this is that, like, a lot of people assume that just because someone is a politician or standing on a podium, that they automatically are intelligent or knowledgeable on everything they speak of. Now, of course, Haley Stevens should be knowledgeable on how the filibuster works. She is, after all, running for the Senate, right? But you'd be shocked at how not knowledgeable the average politician is.
Must go. The filibuster must go so that we can codify health care. And by the way, Nolan, to your other good question about the debt and the deficit, we should use the filibuster to not allow the big ugly bill to pass that increased our debt and at the same time eradicated
So we're not going to filibuster
Medicaid.
here.
So wait, you said you would get rid of the filibuster, but you also want to use it. Which one is it?
I said I want to remove the filibuster.
Right, but then you just said you should filibuster what's going on with the deficit, right?
I
mean, it's pretty simple. While we have it, we should use it. And when we have the power, we should eradicate it, is what she should be saying. But I don't know if she understands that the bill that she's talking about was not something that you could have filibustered anyway.
I'm saying that I want to change the rules, of which I've been a part of. I voted for rules packages on behalf of the people of Michigan. And I believe, Stephen, what I said is we should remove the filibuster so Democrats could have voted down the legislation, the tax bill. That's what I was saying. Democrats should have been able to vote down the tax bill, Stephen. That's why I said we need to get rid of the filibuster. That tax bill should not have happened.
Okay, let's talk about the rules.
They're cooking her. Setting that aside, notable that all three Michigan Democratic Senate hopefuls call for nixing the legislative filibuster at the debate. I believe we have to abolish the filibuster. We have to get rid of the filibuster. The filibuster must go. Michiganders. Gaslighting the debate moderator about what she said. Yeah. Who's worse, Fetterman or her? I mean, Fetterman is genuinely the worst. Like, I probably think Fetterman is worse than Haley Stevens, but that's not really a metric because Fetterman is not just like any Republican. Fetterman is one of the worst Republicans in Congress, even though he's a Democrat. So it's pretty hard to find a politician, especially one that's currently running in the Democratic primaries, to communicate on issues that is going to be like John Fetterman. Buddy, John Fettermans are in the Republican primaries. Okay, there are Ken Paxton is the John Fetterman. Do you know what I mean? Like, he is Like John Fetterman is almost entirely aligned with all of Thomas Massey's horrible instincts and horrible policy prescriptions. And then simultaneously, he's worse, far worse than Thomas Massey on the issue of Israel.
Hi, everyone. It's Congresswoman Haley Stevens, proudly representing Michigan's 11th District. On my primary election night, I wanted to thank AIPAC and the pro-Israel community. Our values spoke very loudly. Not hiding anything from voters. I'm not breaking FEC laws. By any stretch of the means. In fact, I'm compliant with FEC laws and what's gone on.
What the fuck? The camera's breaking. Camera can't handle the hate that Haley Stevens is bringing. Michiganders want me to take money from AIPAC. Don't think bro expected this title to be so hard. Queer leftists supported Palestinians in the 70s too. Back then they hijacked planes. Yeah, what's the problem? Is this pro or anti? I can't tell. Yeah, there's no issue there. Yeah, beast mode. Is there anti-Semitism? Oh, we already watched this. All right. It seems to me like Abdul, I'll say it cooked. Speaking of Massey, he has started using the word genocide to describe Israel's actions in Gaza. Wait, what do you mean? I think he's been doing that. That's not new. Dave Rubin versus 24 left Democrats this Sunday. Oh my God, he's going to get cooked. Because he's so unbelievably stupid. Why would he agree to this? He is going to get destroyed. This is one of those 20v1s where, like, usually when you do a 20v1, the guy is like a fairly reliable debater. Like Mehdi Hasan cooks, right? Glenn Greenwald, I want to watch that one still. Like, this is the exact opposite. This is where, like, any random Tom, Dick, or Harry could just destroy Dave Rubin because his worldview makes no sense.
Things economically were better under Joe Biden.
At the end of his administration, absolutely.
Yeah, so can you give me an example of how?
Yeah, GDP growth was better off, real median wage growth was better off, inflation was better off at the end of his administration, unemployment was better off at the end of his administration. We had the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years, just this last year under Trump's administration.
Was the Rubin report, did that also accept Russian money?
What show did I do for Russia?
No, I'm not saying you did a show for Russia. I'm saying Russia saw you as a stooge who could easily say the talking points that benefited them.
What law is stopping you from doing anything that another person cannot do?
Laws are not protecting trans people. If they were, trans people would not be disproportionately unemployed, unhoused,
what would you like
the
law to do for you? Again, the law can guarantee equality. It can't guarantee protection, right? So
yes, it certainly can.
My first surrounded claim is that wokeism did more damage to America than Trump ever did.
What? Oh my God, Japanese imperial soldier fighting the last battle 20 years after World War II ended, dude. We're here today to talk about wokeism. Like, who the is this for, man? You're either just a straight up Nazi at this point, and even Nazis don't even talk about wokeism. It's like Asmongold's audience is bored of wokeism conversations. Like, you have to make it more entertaining by talking about DEI or some shit in video games. Wokeism destroyed the country. Like, this ain't 2018 no more, okay?
My next surrounded claim is if you still vote for Democrats in 2026, you're voting for broken cities, broken schools, and broken borders. My next surrounded claim is that progressives push normal, moderate Americans to the right. My final surrounded claim is that the modern left cares more about ideology than reality. I'm Dave Rubin of...
Okay, that's terrible. I will probably not be watching that, but I will be looking forward to the dunks that he received. Many of the dunks that he received. Okay, so yeah, Jake LaHood says, I genuinely have no idea what Haley Stevens is actually trying to say in any of her answers. Extreme platitude heavy. Unclear if they are set pieces or off the cuff, which is not a good sign. So far, this is the McMorrin El Sayed show. M.I. Sen. I really don't mean to harp on her, but just to be real, what in the world was her strategy coming into this thing? It's reminding me of Matt Mahan and the California governor debate. All right, let's get to... I was going to do the silencing Jewish voices hit real quick. Stevens is saying her debate won because she said Michigan the most. Haley Stevens sure did seem to say Michigan a lot in the debate, so I crunched the numbers. Abdul Sayed said Michigan 4 times. Mallory McMorrow 23 times. Haley Stevens 49 times. Oh my God. And then Haley is Mallory McMorrow to report on whether Abdul Sayed should call himself a physician. There's some legal requirements to call yourself a physician, and I will let the voters decide. Yeah. Michiganders. I mean, Haley Stevens' debate performance was dog shit, and it's not surprising at all because she is utterly devoid of charisma, which is part of the reason why she's perfect corporate stooge, perfect stooge for AIPAC, and I've told you this already. She's not gonna make it. The real threat in this race is going to be a McMorrow versus Abdullah Sayed matchup. If this was a straight ticket, Abdullah Sayed versus Haley Stevens, it would be over by now. It would look like Pills Mafia versus Graham Plattner. Communist Mujahideen Susan Collins says Plattner serving for imperialist military should be questioned. Yeah, I think she's trying to win the bad empanada constituency. I'm not gonna lie. Like this is unironically and sincerely the bad empanada position, which is that the average military grunt is personally responsible far more responsible for American militarism than the politicians that actually vote for these endless wars. Okay, so I think she might actually win over the bad empanada vote. I mean, he's in Argentina. He can't vote, obviously. And I don't even think he's allowed to vote in Argentina either. But regardless, all 18 of his fans that are in the replies of every single person spamming bad empanada owned you, which is the peak of praxis, of course, or bad empanada called you a Zionist, which is, again, the second peak of praxis, will be voting for Susan Collins, it seems.
Says that you sent him to war, but in fact, he enlisted twice.
Correct.
What is your comment on that?
Well, first of all, he not only enlisted twice after the war was started, but he also went to work for a security company, a controversial one named Blackwater.
Dude, Susan Collins is a Republican. Saying that an American veteran is personally responsible for war crimes and then literally bringing up Blackwater. Like, look, that's cause for concern for me. Okay. That's cause for concern for our community. That's not cause for concern for a Republican voter or an independent voter in Maine. What are you saying, lady? I'm so confused about this statement because it is verbatim. It is verbatim something that you would hear from Bad Empanada, right? And it's not even the wrong analysis, or at least it's not even completely ridiculous to be like, yeah, okay, you did join Blackwater in 2016 or was it 2018? It was crazy, right? But for the average American that is receiving this information, not us, the average American that's receiving this information is going to hear this and go, yeah, of course, a Marine Corps guy joined security contracting because they had no other option or he just didn't know what to do with himself. And he thought he could just like go back to waging war because that's all he knew for a decade, right? It is very funny that Susan Collins is hitting this attack line as a Republican in this race.
After his term in the service was over.
Did Plattner not kill in battle? I find it hard to stomach Plattner from that alone. Fuck Susan Collins too. Guys, this calculation is utterly insane. I don't know how to explain this to you, but the politicians are still far more consequential and far more responsible than the average grunt is. Hello? Like, it's very shocking. It's a shocking point of contention that I don't understand, where people were like, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a better leftist than Graham Plattner is, like, because Marjorie Taylor Greene never actually took up arms and like killed someone. Okay, but she voted for wars and continued to vote for wars when she was in office. Like, if the politician's vote is blameless and the trigger man holds all the responsibility, why are we even voting for people? If we're talking about like condemnable behavior, I still think the politician is far more consequential. And is doing something far more condemnable. And it's in the Constitution, the responsibility for war rests with the individual soldiers and not Congress. Yeah. Like, seriously, who's worse? IDF veteran who's like joined breaking the silence or whatever, or Itamar Ben-Gvir now? You know what I mean? It's a serious question. Itamar Ben-Gvir was never allowed to serve in the Israeli occupying forces because he was considered too extreme. Who do you think is worse? Don't say both of them. You got to pick one. Who do you think is worse? Neither. Hasanabi is worse. That's the correct answer. I'm glad that you have arrived at the ultimate left-com position. The ultimate ultra position is trick question. The answer is always Hasan. But yeah, at the end of the day, I look at the impact. I look at where people are now, and I grade politics on a curve. And in that regard, like, although I have my criticisms or things that I'm skeptical on with respect to, Graham Plattner, I think he's still, I feel like I can't see if I wonder if my eyesight's getting worse as well. What if I just lose eyesight in one eye now? Who beat your ass? A spider or a mosquito. I don't know. I definitely did go to the doctor. It looks terrible. I know. It is terrible. It's huge. Antihistamine. Antihistamine's pronto. Is it itchy? Not really. Do you have kissing bugs in your region? Kind of looks like that. I don't know what a kissing bug is. The swelling is a bit much. It might be an autoimmune response. Sorry for backseating. I think I need to put a cold spoon on it. And no, I'm not losing vision in it. 500 subs to pop that shit on stream. Y'all are crazy. Anyway.
Lines in
Josh Shapiro.
Your party. We saw it play out in this primary here in Philadelphia, in which AIPAC, which historically was a bipartisan group that supported pro-Israel candidates, came in and helped the candidate who wound up coming in third place, I think, and lost. Has AIPAC now become, in a Democratic primary at least, an anchor around some of these candidates, something to be avoided?
Yeah, I don't know. And look, it's never been an issue in any of my races at the state level, but I do think it has cynically been used by some. I'm going to make this a broad statement, not about the race here in Philly, but I think it's been used cynically by some to try and silence certain voices, to try and say that certain people participating in politics shouldn't count or should be viewed in a toxic way. Now, do I agree with every political decision they've made, every endorsement they made? Of course not.
Have they hurt themselves, do you think, AIPAC?
But I think what we have seen is a weaponization of that, and I think that is a danger for our system. When you have people who are advocating for issues that they feel strongly about, and they are having their voices silenced, I think that's a problem in our system.
There's a blurring between being against AIPAC and being against Jewish folks giving money, you're saying?
I think it does get blurred because now what you are seeing is not, quote unquote, AIPAC money or however it was termed, but you're getting the Jews who give to that candidate who also support AIPAC. I think it's very dangerous in our system. If you are trying to silence certain voices based on their race, based on their faith, based on their particular ideology.
Would you want their money, and they being, to be clear, AIPAC donors?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm running for governor, and they don't play in state races. I'm not trying to be cute about that, but it's just not an issue here in my race for governor.
But this could be a factor down the road if other opportunities do present themselves, right?
Well, I'm not looking down the road. I'm looking at how we can win a re-election.
Why do you have that much Benadryl? You aren't supposed to take it regularly. It increases dementia risk. Dude, are you insane? Are you actually insane? Are you all right? First of all, it's topical. And I just got it. And I just put it on my eye. Are you okay, chatter? Do you think I'm just sucking this down like it's a tube of peanut butter? What are you talking about? literally just saw me open up a fresh bottle of Benadryl and assume that I'm just sucking it down, dude. How many tubes you eating a day? You're doing the Penelope thing? No, I'm not. You're the one who thinks that I'm like doing something crazy here. I literally just have topical Benadryl, and you were like, whoa, 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 why do you have so much Benadryl? You better stop. You better not take all that Benadryl at once. To be clear, what Shapiro is saying is actually way stupider in that he's arguing spending is more speechy than speech criticizing it. But to get there, you have to go past Citizens United. Yeah, this is essentially the reasoning of the majority in Citizens United. Yeah, I think I need ivermectin, dude. Oh, I was going to show you this as well. Jonathan Pollard. U.S.-born Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard admits Israel will have to go to war with Turkey and Egypt once they finish off Iran, Gaza, and Lebanon.
I'm not so sure that we will have as easy a time with the Turks as we've had with the Iranians. I've been following Turkish military doctrine, and
the strongest army in the Middle East.
The storm is coming.
Yes, of course. And they're a member of NATO.
And even worse, they're a member of NATO. So I look at Iran as a problem we absolutely have to finish, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Gaza, same thing, and the Hezbollah. Why? Why am I fixated on this now? Because NATO, we have to be prepared.
They are a part of NATO, strongest army in the Middle East. We must defeat them. We must delete them.
For the next war, which will be probably against Turkey and Egypt. I'm not.
Yes, Turkey has the second largest standing military in NATO after the American one. Turkey's military is also trained in counterinsurgencies as well against, Kurdish militias and villages. But the Iranian defense systems are far better than the Turkish ones, let's be real. And yes, Egypt is not even a point of contention here. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's NZEG, right? This is NZEG shit. It's NZEG mindset. Straight up. That's what it is. People who are, there are talking heads in Israel who legitimately are trying to push for this. And that's where we're at. Yeah, Berkeley IGS poll shows top 2 vote getters advanced in November. Karen Bass, 26%. Nithya Raman at 25%. Spencer Pratt at 22%. And Ray Chen Huang at 9%. Spencer Pratt also, Matt Hamilton reports, new last week, Nithya Raman's campaign staff pushed activist Ray Huang to drop out and back Raman with discussions of financial support and possibly a seat at the table, as Huang told me. You can be the savior of the left, Huang said. Her staffer was told. Huang refused. And then Spencer Pratt said, Ray Huang is a real one. I disagree with her on almost everything, but I respect that she actually walks the walk, unlike these corrupt champagne socialists like Nithya. Guys, please don't say based. Oh my God. Oh. I have no say in this. I'm not going to say anything in this. I'm not going to. I just. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. We're getting Bass again, aren't we? Maybe. I think it's the point where it's looking like it's going to be a Pratt-Bass matchup. And Bass, if we're lucky. Oh, this conversation was insane. I saw this last night. Chat knows how to bait like professionals. No. Nithya is the spoiler. I think Ray Huang is a wonderful candidate who did not get, for one reason or another, the appropriate looks to push herself up the ranks. And unfortunately for many of you, it doesn't matter. And you get lost in the sauce. Like, there is no viability at this point, especially 2 weeks out. There's no viability even a month out when there were other people who were ahead of her. I don't know what happened with the matching funds and all this other stuff, but it's just like, Hasanabi bump didn't work this time. That's why, I mean, listen, I've already told you guys this, but like me linking up with a candidate is not going to make it or break it. It's not the end all be all. And I purposely stayed away from the race when there were 2 DSA candidates. I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. It's unbelievably busted. Address this. It's time. Okay, calm down. It's not happening. The real crazy one is if Tom Steyer straight up said Israel is committing a genocide, I would have pushed for him. And he might still win he might still get in the top 2 without my aid, but he just could not commit to it. I think if Tom Steyer came out and actually, cut above, I mean, he did communicate on the issue of Israel far better than all the other candidates, but like he still would not commit to saying Israel committed a genocide. And it was, I think that would have literally dusted Becerra. Like if he came out and was like, Israel did a genocide, we got to do it like as a governor, I'm going to commit to making sure that we're not, spending our resources on a country that is, doing war crimes, all this stuff. I think that would have genuinely put him far ahead of the pack. Israel would have been an actual point of contention in the conversation, and it would have made everybody else look ridiculous. Okay. He recalculated his position in an interview with Walter Masterson. One time I took 12 Benadryl and forced myself to stay awake, and then I saw you in my room standing over the bed staring at me silently. Please apologize. I'm sorry. Did you see this? I don't get why Nithya entered the race. Ray was polling well before she entered. We didn't need her. Yeah, but she did. So what's the conversation here? You know what I mean? I know. I'm aware. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what she's doing. She's doing some crazy shit too. This whole like quote retweeting Spencer Pratt and saying it's clear that LA is fed up with the status quo, which is why I'm running for mayor. I trust voters will vote for a change that bends the arc of the moral universe towards justice and good. Like, I want to make it clear that Spencer Pratt does not deserve any voice or soundbite in my campaign or the city hall that I love. His rhetoric, platform, and campaign are the antithesis of who I am. It's Steyer versus Becerra. Steyer needs to lock the in. The numbers guy might be in hot water. Has Patrick Bet David apologized yet for promoting a massive Ponzi scheme, Goliath Ventures? Has he addressed if the reported $1 million his company was paid for this for this will be paid back to the victims? I reached out to Patrick Bet David directly about this. No response.
Conference this year is brought to you by Goliath.
Wait, he's a numbers guy. CoffeeZilla. He's a CoffeeZilla. I'm a numbers guy. What do you mean? I'm a numbers guy. Patrick Bet David was recently subpoenaed by Goliath Ventures in the legal case, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's forced to hand back the money one way or another. The alleged $1 million paid to Patrick Bet David consulting comes from a Channel 9 investigation by Darylene J. into Goliath Ventures. CoffeeZilla, you're not a numbers guy. Have you connected with DSA Long Beach? No. Why are you guys asking me this question over and over again? Is DSA Long Beach in the chat? Why are you guys asking me if I've contacted DSA Long Beach? Why am I supposed to contact DSA Long Beach? What the f is going on at DSA Long Beach? What happened? DSA Long Beach is doing great work. But why? Why did they want me to have you contacted them yet? No, I have not. Why would I have done that? I don't even know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know why I'm supposed to be doing that. New banger alert. Why don't the Democrats run centrists anymore? Did you every time a Democrat runs a centrist?
Was a man-child in a hoodie, pushing Marxist policy, setting violent prisoners free while borders overflow. Soon may the Fetterman come to bring us radical socialism. One day.
Dude, this is a relic now because like this is pre-AI, pre-mass adoption of AI. I remember this ad. I played it a lot. God, it's so embarrassing. Also, Fetterman wasn't a centrist when he was running. Let's be real.
When the nation is done, we'll wish we'd told him no. Soon may the Fetterman come to bring us radical socialism. One day when the nation is done, we'll wish we'd told him no.
And then he went on to, as the victim of a stroke, he went on to become the most reactionary. This video is yet another example of AI stealing human jobs. Is true. What if you were DSA Long Beach's Mersheimer? I wish. All right, we're going to get to DOJ weaponizing, or what is this? Asked to keep in mind suffering of Palestinians, not just Jews. Jake Sullivan responded, that's smack of whataboutism. They're both equal. That's unacceptable. Incredible how many people in organizations still want to associate with this guy.
I get invited to a meeting with Jake Sullivan. I get there, and here we were talking about October 7th and the aftermath. And there were Arab American groups, Palestinian groups, completely not included. He spoke first and talked about the trauma being experienced by the Jewish community. And when he finished, I said, I understand that. And I grew up with a mother who made me very sensitive to the plight of Jews during World War II and the aftermath. I know from Jewish friends how traumatized they were. And it reminded them of the pogroms. It reminded...
Dude, I can't, like, this conversation is so unbelievably frustrating. I hate this shit. It's like the Holocaust was a traumatic memory and a traumatic experience for many Jews. There's a lot of intergenerational trauma. So they get to do a genocide is an insane argument. But that's, you don't say the second part usually, but that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. I hate that. I hate that. If you saw the humanity of the victims that are in Israel's crosshairs, you would never entertain a statement like this. You are placing the emphasis on not just Jewish people, but Jewish feelings in that situation. And even though that's not the case across the board, there is no monolithic Jewry, right? You are literally saying Jewish feelings are more important than Palestinian lives. It's ridiculous. It's doubly ridiculous when you factor in the reality that there are plenty of Jews who don't say that, who don't think that. But regardless, even if all Jews did, it would still be an unbelievably racist thing to advance.
Reminded them of the threat of Eastern European Jews. And I said, and let me tell you my experience in the camps and survivors of the Nakba. That is happening now with Palestinians. They're feeling that one more time they're going to be victimized and expelled and they're under threat. And I said, we have to keep both in mind. And he didn't say anything. And then toward the end of the meeting, he started going like this with his hands on his head. And I was like, what is he doing? And he said, I have to say something. I know you're going to get upset, but I have to say something. He said, what you said about, that we have to remember the Palestinians. He said, that smacked of whataboutism, like they're both equal. And he said, that's unacceptable. And it was like, he was so angry that it startled me.
Wow.
And I said, I did not say, this justifies that. I just said, there are two peoples and we have to consider the consequences to both. It was a bad experience. Then I went to Blinken, and the meeting with Blinken was weird because I remember saying to him, or somebody else said to him about the number of civilian casualties. And he said, it's intolerable, absolutely intolerable. And I said, we should push for a ceasefire. He said, no, that would be intolerable. I said, so there are two intolerables, and you've chosen the one that will make more of the other intolerable happen. And he just nodded. He did a lot of nodding. I don't know whether it was ideology, whether it was just being out of touch or in denial or what. I had never dealt with people more detached from the reality of what was taking place than these guys.
Dead air, dead air, dead air. FBI got him. No. That Blade of the Sun Twitter account posted this. Amos Goldberg, professor of genocide studies at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. Yes, it is genocide. It is so difficult and painful to admit it, but we can no longer avoid this conclusion. Jewish history will henceforth be stained. Yeah, you're going to start seeing a lot more of that, by the way. That's why, like, Omer Bartov talking about, like, well, Zionism wasn't supposed to be this, but it's turned into this, is actually kind of important. So Omer Bartov is another Jewish Israeli Holocaust scholar, right? And he he got to the genocide conclusion far before many of these other guys did, even though it was also still very late. But he's still trying to like rewrite or whitewash or launder or maybe come to terms with what Zionism has become now, when in fact that's what Zionism always was. But I'm not going to constantly yell at people like this because it's going to take a while for them to get there. Okay? I know that a lot of people will yell at those people. You can just disagree with them. I know Omar Bartov just came out with a new book. Yes. I'm talking about a Jewish Israeli Holocaust scholar who recognized that it was a genocide, wrote about it in the New York Times when it was like a year and a half in, right? Or something like that, who just came out with a new book. And in the new book, he talks about Zionism and how Zionism is turned into fascism. Okay? The problem is, it always was fascism. But if you have a prominent Holocaust scholar, a prominent Jewish Israeli Holocaust scholar, basically even linking Zionism to fascism in this current iteration, he's only one step away from openly recognizing that from the Nakba and what Zionism always has been is fascist. The point is, it takes a long time to get there for a lot of people, especially a lot of people who are older, especially a lot of people who have seen this their whole lives. And by the way, Crystal Ball did a fantastic job here with J Street founder Jeremy Ben-Ami, who, once again, as a liberal Zionist, wants to maintain support for Israel, wants to maintain a relationship with Israel in America. That's the job of J Street. But can't square that circle because it makes no sense. Gideon Levy debated Omar on this position recently on Democracy Now! Wait, he did? No way. God, that's so goated. Democracy Now! Is so awesome. I would love to talk to either of these people, by the way. I've tried. I don't know why I can't get Gideon Levy on the broadcast. I don't know why he doesn't f- with me. Oh my God, dude. I'm going to link up with Francesca Hong, Wisconsin DSA heads. Please. I know. I saw. Okay. Wisconsin GOP got 16 likes on this idiotic post. Francesca Hong wants to abuse her power as governor and send the National Guard to defend criminal illegals against ICE agents. Oh my God. I know. She's awesome. She's amazing. Stop being annoying, chatters. I'm already linking up with her. Okay? You literally, I don't know if there's a DSA Wisconsin group chat in this community, but we have seen more than 16 times, more than 16 different people from Wisconsin have linked me this tweet. The tweet has less likes than the amount of times it has been spammed in this chat. I've clicked on it like 18 times and I clicked away. Please. Especially because Francesca Hong is amazing and I'm going to do something with her anyway. And I've said this already. I am the DSA co-chair in Northeast Wisconsin. We are mighty. I know you guys are all mighty in your own way and you're doing a fantastic job. Please stop spamming shit. They just jealous since you came to Minneapolis. Hasanabi, ignore the noise. If it's 16 people, just drop it, dude. You don't have to have a rant for a full minute about it. No, it's more than 16 people. It only got 16 likes, but more than 16 people posted it, is my point. They told you they'd take your good mood away. I know. Hassan Reaction is one of the best ones in the React channel.